Conrad here again with our second edition of our little video news story that I told you we was going to add. There'll be a link at the bottom of the newsletter and you probably clicked on it. That's why you're here. So I want to tell you something. Two stories, but I want to preface the first one by saying that my country, the United States, has got a lot of issues, and our political situation right now is pretty serious, but I still am proud to be an American and very proud to be especially a Texan. And so let me relate this story that has to do with chivalry and gentlemanliness, which, in my opinion, there are more gentlemen per capita in Texas than any other state in the U.S. Now, don't feel the need to write me back and tell me about all the jerks you know in Texas. I know there's a lot, but I'm saying per capita, I think there are more men that are gentlemen in Texas. Well, I was just up in Mavala about 5 days ago, and as I was passing through the town, there were 6 people on the side of the road asking for a ride. 3 men, 3 women. They looked to be husband and wife, and the women all had small babies strapped on their backs. As is the custom here, they wrap a cloth around them, and that's how they carry their babies. And the babies all look to be less than a year old. So they asked me for a ride, and I said, yeah. And so they opened the back door to the truck to get in, and everybody started piling in. I said, wait a minute. I said, only 3 people. I said, I've got 3 seat belts, 3 people. 3 are going to sit here, 3 sit in the back. So the men immediately told the women, y'all get in the back. And in the back of my truck, I had a load of bamboo, and it was stacked up even with the edge of the truck bed. So it's a pretty precarious place to sit. And the women all got up there, and the men hopped in and shut the door. So I didn't drive away. I sat there, and I said, guys, I want to tell you something. I said, back in my home state of Texas, there are what's called gentlemen. I said, here y'all probably would know them as caballeros. I think it's the Portuguese word for gentleman. I said it's men that are nice to women. I said, what y'all did by putting those women in the back is not very gentlemanly. I said, do y'all want to maybe reconsider that? They went, yeah. I said, okay. I said, well, you know, in Texas, I said, you act like that, you could get beat up by a guy who is a gentleman, so you treat a woman like that. And they're like, eh, like this ain't Texas, and we're sitting in the truck. So I said, okay, well, that's not my wives, and this ain't my country, but just know that y'all are acting like brutes, and you should really amend your ways. And so I gave them a ride into town. The second story I want to tell you about is I was just a few hours ago now at a church inauguration, a new Antara Yesu, which is Followers of Jesus in Makua. That's the church I'm finding here. We just had a new church plant in Impaka, and we dedicated it. And today we had about 200 people there. So we're all sitting around the church dedication. There is the king over the area is there. His name is Shipimbi. And then there was the village chief was there. Then the head of the mosque was there. The head sheikh had about 10 of his guys. And the head of the Catholic Church in the area was there, and one of his lower somebodies was with him. And so there's all these people there. And then about 200 other people, because we had all the people from the new church, the people from Tatango, the people from Maku, and I brought some people from Juntura. And so we're having this meeting and to dedicate the church, and it's outside under a big mango tree. Well, we hear this loud voice. This guy's coming towards us. He's a young guy, looks to be about 20 years old. And there's an older man and woman following behind him a few paces. And he's turning around shouting at them. And they're shouting at him. And then there's a little girl walking with the older man and woman. And she's got a piece of bamboo about this long, about that big around. And she's waving it menacingly at that guy, the young man that's walking in front. Well, he walks right in the middle of our meeting, and everybody just stops and look at him, and he's shouting and blah, 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 and he points at me several times, and I hear Makua words, and then I hear Nkunya, which is the Makua word for white guy, and he's pointing something at me, and he goes out, and he makes a big loop around with the mom and dad behind him. Well, then he comes back in again, and I can tell he's going to come up to me this time, because he's looking right at me, and he's shouting, and he's going, Nkunya this, and Nkunya that. And I'm just sitting there, so he walks right in front of me, and I'm just looking at him. And he's got a whole bunch of stuff in one pocket. And he starts pulling, he just blah, 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 blah. He pulls stuff out of his pocket. He's got some nuts and like some kind of local, type of nut, and some paper. And then he pulled out what looked like a shrink pack of Tylenol on a card, and he hands it to me. I took the Tylenol, and he goes on. And I threw the Tylenol on the ground. I don't need it, and I wasn't even sure what it was. I didn't have my glasses on. It looked like Tylenol. Could have been anything. So as he goes behind me a little ways, I hear a tussle start, and I look back, and I find out later it was his mom and dad. They leap on the boy from behind and arrest him to the ground. And he's a rather beefy young man. He slugs Dad in the face. Dad falls back. Mom jumps on his back, kicks her in his stomach. The little girl runs in with that stick and is beating the stuffing out of him. And then this other lady, I don't know who she was, she comes to pull the little girl off, and the dad jumps on him again. And there's just this free-for-all going on. And I'm looking at that, and I'm looking around at all the other people, and they're just watching. And eventually, Mom and Dad get the best of him and get him down, and Mom's got his legs wrapped up, and Dad's got him in a big headlock, and they haul him off screaming, and the little girl is still just running in, pow, popping him in the head, and hitting him with a stick, and the other lady's trying to pull her off. As soon as she lets go, the little girl runs in. I think it was probably her mom and dad, and she's mad at Big Brother for punching Dad and kicking Mom, but so she's beating the stuffing out of the guy. And they haul him off, and the whole time he's pointing back at me and come. So I don't know what that was all about. So I leaned over to Aria and I said, "Do you know this guy?" He said, "Yeah." He goes, he went down to the ruby mines, and while he was there, he stole some chairs from somebody. And then the guy on the chairs went to the witch doctor and got some a curse, some veneno, poison, to work magic against whoever stole his chairs. And he went to where the chairs were imported on the ground, and Aria said, then the poison goes in the ground, and then finds out who stole the chairs, and the poison comes out and goes and cooks the brain of whoever stole the chairs. So I'm like, Aria, you know that's a bunch of baloney. Poison does not have a brain and a body where it can go after somebody. I said, the kid's obviously demon-possessed. I said, after our meeting here, let's me and you and 4 or 5 other guys, let's go to the guy's house because you know where he lives, and let's cast the devil out and pray for him. One of the reasons I wanted to take 4 or 5 other guys, I saw that his mom and dad barely overpowered him, and since I'm not feeling really spiritual these days, I figured if I couldn't cast the demon out, I better take enough people that we might have a chance of beating the kid up in case, the name of Jesus didn't do it for us. And so anyway, after the meeting, everybody that had hauled to the meeting from Impaka got in the truck, and they were like out there cooking in the sun. Let's go. So I told Aria, I said, look, gather some guys, go pray for the guy, and then I want to report back about it later. So as soon as I hear what happened to that young man, like in next month's video blurb, I will let you know about that. So that's it for this video blurb. The Lord bless you and keep you and give you peace, and I'll talk to you next month. Bye.